Alright, so what we're going to tackle in this video is modeling this giraffe character. Um, and so I'm just going to move this one off to the side, just so you can see how I did that. Remember, we copied the sphere, just kind of as a loose object to keep. Now what I'll do is I'll sort of sight size the height and the positioning of where that head is. And then I'm going to hold shift, just block out where the body is, which is roughly below the ear, which these aren't exactly. Remember, this is all gray box. We haven't got into the fine details of modeling. But here's the body, and then for the feet, I'm going to just do 1 foot and then duplicate that later. So the foot's probably roughly right here. Same thing here for the ear. I'll do 1 off to the side, position it here. For the antenna, 1 up here. Just scale that down. So now we've got sort of a rough blocked out shape of what our character is going to look like. Let's go ahead and start with the feet and work our way up modeling. So on this, I'm just going to right click, go to, or actually let's hold shift and right click and just throw those loops in, 1 up top. I'm going to leave 1 rounded. I kind of like that it looks rounded like that. I'm going to go back to object mode, hit R, scale that down, and then just sort of hold shift, duplicate it. Grab both of these and duplicate them. And there's like the 4 legs that I see here. As for the body, I kind of like the how it's got this big front, and then in the back it sort of has this other part that comes out. So I'm going to just scale that up by hitting R. Go to face mode, select this back part, and hold shift and extrude that. And I'm going to hit R and just scale that in a little bit. Now it does seem to kind of go out, and it's smaller in the front here. So the way I tend to do that is I'll grab this edge loop here, scale that up a little bit, move that forward, and that becomes my almost sort of like my center line. And I'll insert another edge loop right in front of it, and then edge mode, and then just scale that up a little bit. And then this, what I'll do is pull it in a little, and then holding shift and right click, grab my crease tool, sort of play with that crease a little bit so it gives me more of that edge. Let's go ahead and grab this edge and move it back a little bit more, like this, and scale that in. Now for the neck, I'm just going to grab that, hit W, hold shift, and extrude that up. Hit R, scale that in a little bit, and move it back. And I think this body as a whole might be a little bit too big. So let's kind of scale that down. Now to create the neck here, I'm going to grab a loop, just throw it in here. And let's go to edge mode and scale that in a little bit. And bring this down. Now you can see that we're creating a little bit of that curvature. It's a little too pronounced here, and we can kind of bring this in, bring this out a little bit, and then throw another edge loop a little bit higher up. So I'm going back and forth between edge mode, or I'm sorry, bring this in object mode. Now this edge here, let's kind of grab this edge, bring it up just a little bit, and then this needs to go down like that, sort of creating that little bump in the back. Alright, so I think this still might be too wide, so let's scale that in a little bit. Same thing with this guy. Alright, let's create the face. I'm going to borrow the head, scale that down for the muzzle. Let's hit F to focus. Shift right click, insert edge loop, and just throw a little cut at the top so it gives me that shape. Scale that down. Now for these holes, I'll probably just do that in texture. It looks pretty good. Now for the eyes, let's go ahead and just scale this down a bit. And we could do these in texture too, so I might end up deleting them. Holding shift, copying that out. Now in order to get these ears, let's go to our front view. I'm going to hit F to focus. To get these ears to sort of look right, it takes a little bit of, you should definitely see them symmetrically. Same thing with the horn. So I'm going to press D like duck, move my pivot point to the center here. holding spacebar, I'm going to go to edit and I'm going to open up my duplicate special menu. Let's try that one more time. There we go. There's our options. It has the same as before. You can see my instance here, and then it's across the x-axis. So if I hit apply, let's go to perspective mode. It looks like it did it in place, and we don't want to go across the x actually. We want to go across the, let's see, I believe the y? Let's try that. Oh, you know what? It's the z, because notice this is our z-axis and we're going across the z. So, an easy mistake. Alright, let's make sure instance is on and let's hit apply. Now let's go ahead and model out this ear. So from our front view, I'm going to insert a bunch of edge loops going vertical. So probably about, let's see, 1 across and then 3 vertical. 2, 3, oops, maybe not that close. There we go. Now I'm just going to grab these verts, create this, bring these in, creating that pinched look. These can be straightened out. Let's make sure this is going all the way around. There we go. And then let's grab these, oops, we just want the verts of this guy, and bring those in. Let's go to face mode and scale this whole thing down, rotate it, bring it up. Let's go over to perspective mode, scale it in on the side a bunch. Alright, let's grab these faces here. Hitting R and then holding shift, let's bring that in. Let's hold shift again and bring that in. Alright, let's grab these. I'm going to hit B to turn on soft select, and if you hold B down and you click in your middle wheel or your left mouse button, it's up to you. You could do this soft select, which gives you sort of this sculpting kind of parameter like that. So I'm going to tweak these guys a little bit. And you can see it's sort of, in my eyes, I see it as pinching a little bit here. So let's go ahead and bring these in. Kind of creating that pinch that comes up. And then I'm going to just sort of round that out a little bit better. I'm also going to bring this edge loop forward, just giving me a little bit more roundness. I think what would be kind of cool is I'm going to grab this vert here and then turn soft select back on by pressing B. Just grab this center vert. This is just a little bit of polish, maybe a little bit too soon. But just kind of pulling the ears back, it makes them look a little cuter, and then bringing these forward. So something like that. And I'm going to push that into the head a little bit more. Alright, let's knock out the these like horns. So I'm going to go to face mode, select that top face, holding shift, extrude up again, hit R, scale. Oh, let me turn soft select off. There we go. Hit R, scale this up, kind of pull it down. Now, in order to get this nice little crease here, I'm going to hold shift and you probably guessed it, open up my crease tool. So let's actually make sure we grab this edge. Let's get rid of this. So we only have these edges selected. And then I'm going to shift right click, go to crease tool and just crease that out. And then bring that down. There we go. And as you know, I tend to exaggerate and then scale down later. So same thing here. That's good. Right click, edge mode. Grab just those top edges. Shift right click crease tool and crease those out. Alright, let's really start to scale this down. So something like this. And that crease tool might need maybe a little bit too much on the top. Let's go ahead and grab these and take the crease down. I kind of like that little nub. So select my crease tool and just go a little bit less. So I'm like kind of still getting that shape. All right, let's grab these verts. We'll go to vertex mode, scale this in so it's about the same. And what it is it's tinier here and then it fans out at the bottom. So let's go ahead and grab these edges. Shift right click, crease tool, crease this out, and then hit R, scale it in. And then this edge, I'm just going to use it to give me a little bit of a nicer curvature down towards the middle like they have here. I'm probably going to grab this, crease that up a little bit, just to give me a little bit tighter of an area. I'm going to press D, D again, and then just apply my duplicate special. Oh, looks like it needed the history and the freeze transform. So modify history. Freeze transforms, edit, delete by type, history. There we go. And then I'm going to hit apply, and now you can see that it mirrored it a little bit better. All right, I think that's good for the giraffe.